Welcome back to Slacker Gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Diamond Dynasty on MLB The Show 21. In this episode, we're going to go over the 42 series cards. Right now, these are the best cards in the game, so to speak. They all come in as 88, and you can kind of select who you want to use in as an 88. Depending on the team, every team has a selection, and you can choose from those players to help build your Diamond Dynasty roster. So in this episode, we are going to go over how to get them, how to choose them, and then the best and fastest way of getting some of these 88s on your team early. So if you like to watch that, stick around. So as you guys know, there is a 42 series in the game, and what that basically is a bunch of players from each team were picked to, I guess, represent their team in the 42 conquest. And so these 42s you can find in the programs under the team affinities. That's how you're going to find the players you want. That's how you're going to unlock the players you want. So you're going to go to a team affinities. Let's say if we want the AL Central, because I think I want Salvi. Being a Royals fan, this is where you're going to find it. You're going to go to the AL Central. You could see the pack at 60, and then you could see who you can pick from the 42 pack itself. Yes, you can eventually get more 42s, but I would suggest just kind of doing one at a time. I wouldn't worry about trying to get like all of the AL Central stuff done. I would go after the players that you want to get, and to try to do that, the fastest way I think to do it is going to be doing Showdown. Now the Showdown is found here as showed on the screen. You go through the Showdown, you try to get as many players as you can, you build up your team, you draft your team, and then at the end you fight a boss, so to speak, and that is when you get affinity stubs, and then those stubs can be turned in later, and you can choose who you want once you have enough stubs. You're going to go over to the single player modes, and from there you are going to select the Showdown, and this changes, but season 1 Showdown is up, and this is where you're going to get the most, I guess, stubs and most, I guess, bang for your buck as far as unlocking those 42 cards. Now the way this works is you start a draft. Its entry fee is $500. Don't worry, you'll make that money back. Its entry is $500, and you're going to draft your team. And now, yes, it's easy to say just draft whoever, but what I want you to do here is really pay attention to what cards you're selecting. So these are some of the 42 cards that you can select. So my suggestion is to find one you like, and then you know who to go after. Right now you don't have to set in stone like I want Salvador Perez. Like, you don't have to set that in stone. You don't have to set that in stone until you're ready to start going towards the stubs and the team affinities. So right here is the best time to try to play with everyone. Try to select people that maybe you wouldn't even normally pick. Someone that you look at their stats and you're like, it's not that good. You have no idea how you're actually going to use them in game or how you're going to hit with them. So I would suggest go through and pick some players and use them, because this is the perfect time, because you actually get to use the 88 card overall in game, so you can see how well you play with them and how to use them. Same thing with pitchers here. Like, I had no idea what pitcher I wanted to use starting out, so I kind of looked at stuff, looked at statistics, looked at their pitches, their breakdown, how fast they threw, stuff like that, and then I made a decision based on that, and then I played with them. And that's the biggest thing to do while you're in this Showdown mode, and that's how you're going to select the cards you want, is to play with them in Showdown, and then you're going to know what cards you're good with and what cards you like to swing of and what cards are overpowered. And then once you're done with that, once you played with them, then you could decide, I want to go for the 88 Salvi, I want to go for the 88 Sixto Sanchez. So you're going to go through here, you're going to select a team, and then you're going to get 3 items at the end, a gold and 2 silvers. And this is kind of based on whatever you want it to be. I usually pick stuff that will help me offensively, because most of the Showdowns are offensively based. There are a few where you have to pitch in order to beat the Showdown, but most of them are hitting or hits or runs or total bases. and that stuff is really helpful if you have these items unlocked. So go through there, see what items you like. I have no real like preference. I mean, you can see like leadoff magic obviously is going to be helpful for you early on in the counts, stuff like that. So just kind of select stuff based on that. I would suggest using offensive help more than defensive help, more than pitching right now. I would do like contact boost, extra, exit, velo, stuff like that. So now that we are actually in, let's take a look at our roster and how this works. So you selected a certain amount of players, and then the rest of the players were filled in for you. So there are players on this team right now that I did not select, but they were filled in. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through these showdowns, and you're going to try to put the best team you have on the field, hitting and defensive wise, because they have to play both. And you're going to try to field the best team the best possible way. So you might use a guy that's a third baseman but can play first. You don't have a first baseman, so you have to play him at first, so on and so forth. And then you're going to set the batting lineup so that you give yourself the best chance at scoring runs. And then you're going to go through this. So what you're seeing here with the final showdown, it's 0 of 12. And what that means is you're trying to get 12 runs in the end to help you finish the showdown and get those affinity cards. So what you're going to do like this, you're going to go in, you're going to try to beat the showdown. This one was 2 hits, I believe. I got the 2 hits. I won the showdown. First inning program, whatever, success. I did it. Now I get 2 final showdown runs. And at the very end, you have to score more than 12 runs. So right now what you're doing basically is you're giving yourself runs ahead of the actual boss showdown. Another thing is if you are successful in them, you will get another card to have on your team, and then another item based on how far you are, based on what showdown you did, whatever is going to kind of depend on what card and what item you get. So early on, you're going to get more gold cards and stuff. And then once you kind of get middle halfway, you're going to start getting more diamonds, more 42 cards will start coming up. So that's when you really want to pay attention as well to your whole lineup as a whole and know what you need to fill in. So if you have everyone except the shortstop, and then a lineup comes up or whatever and has a really good shortstop, you might want to take that shortstop because that's what your team needs. Same thing throughout the whole thing. You also have to select your perks every single time you unlock one. You have to either change them out or you can keep them the same. It doesn't matter. But just know that you have to go in there and change them like I've shown you here. So after doing all that, we have 2 of 12. We've set our lineup. We've set our roster. We know who we want. We know who we got. I would suggest putting your better hitters at the beginning of the lineup so that they have more plate appearances. And so we're going to go through here, and then halfway you're going to have a showdown halfway through this first one. These are all different, so as the season goes, there'll be different showdowns. But this first one halfway through has a showdown where you start with a guy on second, and you are down by 2. You have 10 outs to get the person in, and to win the game. So you need 3 runs. You have 10 outs to get 3 runs, and you have a guy on second. So going into the game, you're going against, this is one of the bosses that you're going to play. You're going against them. They're usually pretty good. It's a usually pretty good card. It's not like a guy you're playing is like a 50 something. Like this card of Kelvin Herrera, I believe is like a 93 or something, 89 maybe. It's a diamond. But what you're going to do is you're going to go through here. You're going to play the game, and you're going to try to beat the showdown. This showdown is the exact, I wouldn't say the exact same because it's not, but it has the exact same thing as far as what you need to do. You need to outscore the other team. So we got 3 runs. We outscored them. We unlocked that showdown against Kelvin Herrera, and what do you know? We get a diamond for it. So now we get to pick a diamond player to help our team, to build our team, and it's another 42 guy. So again, try to pick someone that your team needs, but someone else that you really want to try using to see if they're any good or anything. And then you're going to select them. They're going to go on your team. You have to, again, move them in your lineup, move them in your roster, do all that stuff. We're going to select another item, which is also a diamond. And the silver is the bottom tier, and then the gold items are better, and then the diamonds are better than the gold, and you can get these same ones from silver all the way to diamond. So Don't really pay attention to that. Just get what best suits you. So now that we're done with that, as you can see here, we have 10 of 12 runs in this final showdown. Now the final showdown is a different player every time, so you kind of have to pay attention. And what it is you're not playing any defense or anything. You're basically just hitting. You're trying to score as many runs as you possibly can to beat the team you're playing. Now, if you saw when I came in at 10 versus 12, and what that means is because I beat so many of those showdowns before, I have 10 runs already. So I come into this with 10 runs. I have 15 outs to get score 3 runs. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in here. You're going to try to get as many runs as you possibly can. This pitcher, obviously one of the best pitchers, is the 42 card in this instance. Right here, I hit a home run. Perfect. Dominic Smith, a guy that I got in the draft. And what do you know? We beat him with the walk-off. We still had 10 outs left. And boom, success. And what this does is it means that we have completed this showdown run. It usually takes, I would say, close to an hour or more to run one of these. You can skip to the end and start out 0 to 15 runs. I would not suggest it. I would suggest just going through and playing with cards so you know who to use and know who you like. And so now that we've finished the season 1 team affinity, we have the packs, we have the 5 stubs, so to speak. And what we're going to do is we're going to use those 5 stubs. We're going to go exchanges. And once you pick who you want, I want the AL Central because I went Salvi. We go to the vouchers and boom, look at that, 5 affinity team vouchers there. We're going to do, you could put in 5. It only allows you to do 1 at a time, but you're going to do it over and over and over again. And each time you do it, it gives us 3 points towards the points earned. Now, I have done this 4 times. And I did the AL Central players tasks as well. So I have 60 points up there. You see in the top left screen. So I have the 42 unlocked. It will show 40% when you're done. And then guess what? You go over to your packs. You open your packs. And there it is. There are 42. And you can unlock any player you want on any of the teams. As far as, I mean, the teams have their own specific player. But you can do the AL Central, which I did and got Salvi. You could do any other league and pick any of those teams. So my suggestion would be is to find the players you want while you're playing, while you're drafting, and then come back later and do all the stubs and stuff. And then you can pick exactly who you want moving forward. So I know that was a lot of information. I hope I went over everything and everything makes sense. If it did not, make sure you comment down below. I can try to help you guys out. I know it's a little complicated, especially if you're brand new to the game. If you're a new Xbox user, never played Diamond Dynasty, this is really the way to do it. The fastest way to do it is the showdown. There's other ways you can do it, but I would suggest showdown. It is the fastest way of getting it done. If you guys like this episode, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Also, feel free to hit that red subscribe button, and I will have more MLB 21 content coming out very soon. Till next time, Slacker out.